Hello everybody, my name is Zachary Still-Edwards. I'm an industrial designer and a student currently going to the Politecnico di Milano. If you didn't tell already by the title, I currently live in Milan, one of the most expensive cities in Italy. It's expensive primarily because Milan is one of the 4 fashion capitals in the world. The Lombardy region has just a lot of manufacturing, and it's a very international city which brings money, business, capitalism, yada, yada, yada. Currently, I'm experiencing how expensive everything is, especially coming from the United States. Like, there's just certain things that are just cheaper in the United States and certain things that are more expensive here and vice versa. I kind of wanted to create this video to be able to show you what it basically costs for 1 month to live in Milan, primarily because I need to do my budget and I need to also find a job too because the money is going fast around here. So I just want to first start with the basics. If you're coming from the United States, the euro is worth more than the dollar. So be prepared that when you travel here, you are going to essentially lose money, because transferring your dollars to euros, not only because the euro costs more, but also transaction fees, everything that's included in that. All right, starting with the most expensive thing that you'll probably have to pay for, which is rent. Rent is expensive here. However, depending on the city in the United States, it could honestly be cheaper than living in, let's say, Chicago, New York, excuse me, or any other place that has a lot of commercial businesses and different things like that. Compared to like a city like New York, LA, Chicago, you're gonna actually find some affordable places. Now, finding is the key word. That's probably gonna be another video, trying to go through different hoops to be able to talk to different people. A whole adventure in itself. For my apartment, I spend 650 euros a month. So that roughly translates to about $780, depending on the day and how much the euro is representing itself. So 650 euros, honestly, compared to most of my friends, is kind of on the more expensive tier. I would say that generally speaking, just to my friends, other designers, other people, most people fall in the range of 400 euros all the way to, I think the most expensive I've heard is like 800, 900 euros. That's pretty much the base range. Now, as a designer, because designers are not generally known for having a bunch of money, especially at the first or at the beginning of their career, you're pretty much going to be looking in the 400 to 700 range. 650 is already very expensive. I wasn't even trying to plan on spending 650 euros a month, but every single place that I was trying to get kept on being bought or taken from somebody else, or the person just didn't like me because I only spoke English at the time. But generally, you're gonna be probably spending around, let's just say, a general 500 euros. I'm really lucky too, because that 650 euros includes my water, my electricity, it's all together. And I don't have to pay any spese condominiali fees. If you don't know what spese condominiali fees are, basically it's condominium fees that you have to pay, especially if you have like a door person, man, woman, door person, that's at your building. Those are the fees that goes to that person and to upkeep the building. I call BS on it. Some of the buildings, okay. But anyways, just be aware, please check how expensive the fees are. I saw places that were 400 euros and then you scroll down and the fees end up being 300 euros. So you're already spending 700 euros for a place that you were budgeting for 400. So just be aware, always look, always ask if there's fees, if you're communicating with someone, or just look on their website. You have to realize as well, especially for me, coming from a place like Arizona, Texas, where there's just a lot of space and a lot of things, you just get a lot of space when you're paying for an apartment. Here, things are gonna be tinier, smaller. So manage your expectations. Now, that's not to say that you can't find a nice place. There's definitely a nice place. I think my place is pretty nice. However, Just realize you probably won't have a dryer, your kitchen will probably be small, and you might not have an elevator. You honestly can find a place in any part of the city. When I was first looking for an apartment here, I wanted to make sure that I was by the school. It was important that I was by the school and I can just walk to the school and do this and that. But honestly, with the metro, you can get anywhere super fast, super fast. As long as you live next to a metro station, you're gonna be fine. Or church. They ring the church bells at random times now. I always tell myself every time I have to pay rent and I'm like, ugh. You know that feeling when the money leaves your bank account and you're just like, that cardboard box is looking nice. But I always just tell myself remind myself of the reason why I'm here. I want to be a good designer. So that's why I'm in school, to learn from the best and to learn from people who can tell me their experiences, learn from them, and create my new experiences for myself, so I can, you know, create my vision and hopefully design something new and something interesting. Alrighty, the second biggest thing that you'll probably have to spend money on, and that is food. Now, I like to eat. There's nothing about it that I don't. I just like to eat. I like food. That's something that I need to work on. I need to learn, and I need to learn how to cook better meals. Food is relatively cheap here. However, if you also put into the consideration you going out with your friends to eat at different restaurants, especially if you're just trying to like figure out the city, it's gonna be more expensive. So I spend anywhere from 200 euros, basically about 200, 250 euros a month on food. And I'm fine. Like, food, depending on what type of product that you're getting, can be very expensive. So for example, for black beans, I don't know why. Black beans is like 3-4 euros here versus like in the can, versus in the United States, it's like what, 50 cents? At most 80 cents or something a can. So different things like that are just expensive here. But overall, not too bad. Definitely rent would probably be the worst thing. Let's be honest. Sure, you think in your mind, oh, I'm gonna come back home and I'm gonna make myself a meal and I'm gonna be cooking all day. No, you're probably gonna be going out to drinks with your friends. You'll probably be getting aperitivo or going out to dinner somewhere. So just be aware of that fact. And you should go out to dinner. That's how you make connections. That's how you meet people to, you know, transfer ideas to. So just be aware of that. So I would budget like 300 euros a month, which is a lot, but just another tip if you're trying to save money, I'd recommend going to an aperitivo. Basically, it's like the same as an American happy hour where drinks are discounted, but generally with an aperitivo, you get a buffet as well. If you're coming to Milan to work, that's a different story, but if you're coming to go to school, you will have to pay tuition. Now, the prices are nowhere near the United States. It's a lot more affordable here. For example, it's like 5,000 euros a year for my degree program. I think like the most you'll end up paying as like, I don't know what it is at the other schools, so I don't want to speak for them, but it's nothing compared to the United States. You're not going to be spending 30, 40, $100,000 or whatever the conversion rate is to go to school here. It's not going to happen, which is really nice. That's one of the main reasons that I moved here. Is because I really wanted to go to school as a designer in one of the 4 big fashion capitals. Even though my course, it's not specifically fashion design, I do enjoy doing, you know, fashion projects here and there, but I wanted to be able to move to either New York, London, Paris, or Milan. And Milan is one of the more affordable of the 4, out of the 4, to be able to start up as a designer. So that's part of the reason why I moved here, is because I knew that being able to live in a little bit more affordable place would afford me the freedoms to be able to work on my different projects without feeling like I have to pay rent every 2 seconds, which is honestly how I feel sometimes. But regardless, generally overall, Milan is a generally affordable city. If you plan, even better if you have a job, to be able to facilitate this. When it comes to transportation costs, Milan has a beautiful metro system. I mean, compared to Texas or Arizona, you're not gonna have to drive anywhere really here. Even if the worst case scenario, let's say that you're stuck somewhere in the south of Milan, you can walk from the south of Milan to the north of Milan, and it's gonna take you an hour, 40 minutes at the most. You can't do that in the United States. If you get stuck, let's say you're in Arizona and you're in East Mesa, where I used to live, you're not gonna be getting to Phoenix in no hour, 2 hours. It's gonna take you like 6, 8, 9 hours to get somewhere if you're walking by foot. All you really need is a Metro card. Use your Metro card. This costs me 200 euros for the whole entire year. Generally, going from where I live to downtown, it costs anywhere from 2 euros to go downtown one way, and then 2 euros back. So this is a real big steal because I'm able to just use it on any type of train. I just scan it and then there I go. Another point, don't bring your car here. I don't even, if you're walking anywhere, you see people parked anywhere. People will be parking on the sidewalk. People will be parking in a little crevice. People will be parking in somebody's backyard. You know, it's crazy. It's not a car-friendly city, so don't bring your car. I know some people who drive to school, I'm like, where the hell are you parking your car? On the sidewalk. That's actually on the sidewalk. I'm actually writing a paper, I might write a paper on inclusive design, people with disabilities, and walking onto the sidewalk, because it's ridiculous. But anyways, just get yourself a Metro card. Transportation's pretty much handled. If, let's say, you don't live next to a Metro, there's trams, there's buses that you can also take as well. I'm pretty sure you can use this on the bus. I'm not sure. I haven't really been on too many buses or trams. I normally just use the Metro to get me wherever I need to go. So, highly recommend. The thing that you have to take in consideration too is phone service and Wi-Fi. This is a must. It is the 21st century. You need to have stable connections, especially because some of my classes are online. Some of them I need to do online meetings with different people. I've had it where I didn't have a stable internet and I was just using my cellular connection, and no, it's not a good idea. So I spend 40 euros for my internet and for my phone. Some people may say that that's expensive, but that's how much I spend. I have fiber optic internet in my building, so when they came in, they just hooked up the fiber optics and it works perfectly. So I haven't had any problems with it. So budget around 40 euros a month for Wi-Fi internet. You can honestly add in there, like if you're doing a bunch of like international calling, sometimes they'll have special minutes or special deals to compensate for that. But generally that's how much you're gonna be spending. With the internet, I'm also probably paying for things that I don't need. Like they're always trying to add like their, I don't know, special sport package or special Disney Plus. I don't be watching stuff like that. Like I still use my mom's Netflix password. So I'm not trying, or my parents' Netflix password. I'm not trying to be doing the most. And I'm probably paying for stuff that I don't need. They were trying to deliver me a like television box I don't have a television. So luckily they couldn't even get to my apartment anyways because the post system's very interesting here. So hopefully that's not active. I'll probably have to go down there and see why. I guess I should just double check to make sure I'm paying for what I'm paying for. You know what I'm saying? But just be aware, they're gonna try to sell you stuff. Also, highly recommend getting a dual SIM. If your phone has dual SIM capability, I'd highly recommend it. So that way you can have both your US or whatever country you come from number and also an Italian phone number as well. Especially with all the dual verification, it just makes it a lot easier. If I'm trying to log into some of my banking stuff from the US, I can just have it sent to my phone instead of me having to switch out SIM cards. So highly recommend getting a dual SIM. It will change your life. Also keep in mind, if you're studying inside Italy, you're gonna have to budget some money for your documents. Italy is a very bureaucratic state, so there will be documents that you'll have to do. So everything from your Permesso di Soggiorno, which is gonna cost money. That's gonna be a separate video. I'm still trying to get that figured out. Stamps, special tax stamps, visa applications to even come into the country, COVID tests. So hopefully by the time you're watching this, this is not a thing anymore, but let's just say, let's budget that under health costs. Different things that are going to be necessary for you to be able to, get into the country. I spent anywhere from $200 to $400 with like visa stuff, because you got to remember, even when you're back in your country, you have to mail things to the embassy. You have to get special different types of this and that. So just be aware that there's going to be a cost associated with your visa application, and that's included. I'm not working in Italy just yet, so I don't know what it's going to cost to do like the work permits and all those different things. Hopefully you just have a company that just takes care of it for you. But if that's not the case, just be aware that you're going to be paying money with the documents that you need to submit as well. What am I currently doing for money? What am I currently doing for money? Currently nothing. No, I'm just kidding. Right now I'm looking for an online job, so I can just work from home, do an online job part-time so I can make some money coming in, because it is expensive. Just be aware that you will be spending money on different things, especially in your studios. You'll be spending money on different materials and different things that are necessary to finish your vision, essentially. I guess that's all I have to say. If you guys have any other questions about any other prices or wondering about different other costs that I didn't mention, please leave a comment below. I'll try to respond to it as quick as possible, send you just with my experience. If I don't know the answer to it, I'll find out for you. It's important for me to relay as much information to other designers or people who are trying to come to Milan just to help them out. So just let me know. All right. Ci vediamo presto.